on. Hi, everybody. Hi, fans. Let's see, I'm streaming up here. I don't know if we're on here yet. So welcome. I'm Danny Decci, and I might introduce myself in a second again. Let's see. Okay, I guess we're on. Okay, hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. This is the fans. Let's see, I'm streaming up here. I don't know if we're on. Okay, I'm putting up the links here. Please excuse me with the technical things I'm doing right now. Also, please excuse me if I accidentally turn off the, I'm not very good with the controls here, so please excuse me if I accidentally turn off the power grid in your community. Sorry about that.
No.
So I'll try not to affect your things there. Okay, let me see here. So yeah, I'm Danny, that's your host. Welcome to Good Timing. And I'm just clicking a little bit here, see if everything's working out okay. And okay, I think we're cool. So I'm going to click out of here and welcome. Again, let's see, clicking out of here. Sorry about this clicking going around. Yes. Okay. I guess we're all settled now. So yeah, welcome. We do this once a month or so. We have the stars of Good Timing here. They were on Peacock TV, let's see. So and the show is called NYC OG, featuring the stars of Good Timing on Peacock TV. I'm Danny, that's your host in San Francisco. Everyone else is in New York City, I believe. And hey, I'm thrilled to have tonight's performers on the show. They all performed from New York City, and they took a comedy class at the Greenwich House with comedian actress Jo Firestone, who also wrote for The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. I was so excited when I saw, three of my fellow comedians on TV, on Peacock TV, who I performed with many times on Zoom during the pandemic. And I also got to meet online with other students in the class, and they will be performing for you tonight. I just want to give everybody an opportunity to get more stage time. I think it's really great that they're pursuing comedy. So let's see a little bit about myself. Oh yeah, I know. Sorry, I think I cut myself a little bit today shaving because I shave with a piece of broken glass. Yeah, like a real man. Yes, I'm not like those sissies that use those safety blades and they use shaving cream just like a little girl. No, I shave like a real man. Yeah.
Manly guy.
Manly.
Right. So, I actually a little bit more. I actually went tried that 23andMe. They find out what your background 23andMe, and I found out that I actually like strawberry ice cream and not vanilla. And I come from an unfunctional family. It's similar to a dysfunctional family, but it's much more quieter. Nothing actually happens.
Yeah.
Functional happening. I've been going. Some of the places have been opening up more after the pandemic, and I went to Olive Garden. And when you go in the Olive Garden, the first thing they say to you, "Oh, we treat you like family." And I said, "Oh, please don't do that. Don't do that."
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know that when they give you those pagers to let you know that your table's ready, those little, flashing, vibrating pagers. I found that it's not cool to pretend that you're being electrocuted. Yeah, they don't really like that. Also, I actually tried out for America's Got Talent. I'm a comedian, but I wanted to try my magic trick. And so what I did was I got some running water and a bar of soap. They said, I'm going to make this bar of soap disappear. This is going to take a while. Get off the stage. Yeah, so that didn't work out. Yeah. So, some guy the other day, he comes up to me and says, hey, you mind if I be brutally honest? I go, okay. And he beat me up.
No.
You got a little frightened.
Yeah, those things happen. So, and let's see.
Let's go.
So many things going. Oh yeah, the Academy Awards is coming up. We're really on the Academy Awards. This year, this next coming year, they're going to come to category. Who's talking back there? Let's see.
Everything go all right with the bank?
Anybody there? Let me see if I can.
I think it's Tom. I think it's Tom.
Let's see. Let me see here. Okay, I think I did it. Okay, cool. All right, back to, oh yeah, so anyway, I was saying that the Academy Awards is going to have a new category this year. It's going to be called Best Film Without Tom Hanks.
Ah,
Yeah, nothing against him. He's just in all the movies, yeah. And you know, whenever I go to Starbucks, I always order 8 cups of coffee because I like hearing my name. Yep.
ooh,
Yeah, and also a lot of the Starbucks now have a voting booths, so you can actually vote during the general election or any local election. You can actually vote, and if you buy a coffee, they will let you vote twice.
oh,
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I have a friend who was I have a friend who says he was bragging that he's got a French coffee maker. I used to have a French coffee maker myself, but I had to get rid of mine because she was nagging me all the time. You know, oh, you just want me for my coffee. You never take me to a movie. You never take me
I
to.
thought it was that the visa ran out.
Yeah. So cool. All right. Be there. And speaking of food, you know, the energy drinks, you know, they say they give you energy, but they really don't. They actually just hype you up with sugar and a lot of caffeine. If you really want energy, try food.
food.
Yep. So, yeah. So, speaking of things opening up, I'm a big comic book fan, and I went to the comic book convention, and you know, the place was really crowded. I didn't want to wait all day in line to get an autograph, so I came up with an idea. I went up to the front door and I yelled, "Hey, Eugene, your mother's here to pick you up," and the whole place cleared out. Yeah.
Ah,
The only person left there was this woman dressed up like Wonder Woman. So I go up to her and say, "Hey there, Wonder Woman, want to come over to my place and check out my comic book collection? I got a lot of issues." And
oh,
and she says, "Oh, get lost, you nerd." And I told her, "I can't get lost because I got my address written in my underwear." So there. From her. Okay, let's see. I'll finish up by playing I'm also a musician. I'm going to play a couple of songs. See if you know this one. Okay. There.
yay.
Oh, I see your line is out. Oh, I forgot to spotlight myself here. Okay, and cool. I spotlight. Okay, I'll finish off with one last song, and here we go.
Becky, come here. Becky. Yeah, all right, what? I don't see him there. I don't see him now. This thing is stuck here.
Okay, got that.
Okay,
Let's see where that.
Why is
Right.
it slow?
Okay, I think it's here.
Or it sounds like Orlando is.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, and I can't. All right, I was trying to meet there. Cool. All right, and that's my time. I'm Danny Dutchy. So now it's thank you, everybody. And now it's let's give all the time for the people of good timing. Again, you should watch it. It's on Peacock TV. It's really great to watch. And all right, so your next performer tonight, funny guy from New York, of course, like everybody else. Let's give it up for Alex Glatt, everybody. Alex.
Hello. Hi, everybody. You know, people go crazy thinking about tax collecting. I want to give you my view because I was one. We are pains in the asses to everyone. We collect money owed. We will ruin your credit, take your bank account, salary, your furs, your Rolls Royce. We are judge, jury, executioner, and auctioneer. You tell us you owe tax money and then don't pay it. You ask us to come to you. Don't blame us. We're the second oldest profession in the world. People say prostitution is the oldest profession. But we tax collectors got our cut first. How do you think the king got to pay for his pleasure? By starting tax collection. We collectors have a rough life too. You can call me Cash Fine Gold. I'm a tax agent supervisor.
See if we can get it up.
Even I get summoned to jury duty and get abused. The lawyer at the voir dire challenged me to get on a jury panel. Who do you work for? He says. I work for New York State. He growls at me. What do you really do? I said, I'm a tax collector. The whole panel booed me. Then he does it to another guy there. He said he drove a truck from New York City. The attorney gets wise and he says, all right, what kind of truck do you drive from New York City? Guy says, I drive a tow truck. The whole panel stood up and hissed at him. Well, I guess there's a strict pecking order. Tax collectors outrank tow truck drivers. A taxpayer is sitting at my desk with a subpoena in his hand crying. I ask him, why can't you pay your sales taxes? You took tax from everybody you bought from you. He nods agreement. My name is Joe Gotta Steal. It's what I'm good at. I'm lousy at my sandwich shop. Whenever I get money in, it gets eaten up. What did you do before you opened the sandwich shop? I did long haul trucking. I was away from the family. Money was steady. I loved it. Can you still do trucking? You're losing $500 to $1,000 a month. We should have already shut you down and sold your store by now. But you came in, told us your problem. Can you bring in $1,000 tomorrow? Maybe we can set up a payment plan. Sure, give me a couple of days. Maybe I can get more, he tells me. All right. 3 days later, all the men in the office stampede to the front counter. What happened, I wondered. A female tax agent passes my desk, looks at me with barrage and says, you'll see. A woman in red flip-flops and the teeniest, tiniest string bikini you ever saw is brought to my desk. Breathless, he asks, are you the agent my father spoke with? I said, yes. The girl reaches behind her back, pulls out a pile of cash, and asks for a receipt. I took the cash, counted it, gave her a receipt. She got up, sashayed out of the office, with the whole male staff eyeing her, wondering if she was going to fall out of her swimsuit. The mother called saying, did she bring the money? I said, yeah, she did. Men of the office, thank you for sending your payment in with your daughter wearing a string bikini. Thank God she wasn't delivering a hero sandwich. I wouldn't have known where she kept it. They paid off the debt, but the mail office, all the men decided that they would roll their tongues back in their heads finally. There are funny things that happen when you visit a home or an office and you have to close them down. One guy says to me, how about you take one of the kids in payment? I told him, no, they're too expensive to feed. Another home, wife of the taxpayer states, anything in the place is $25, including me. I asked, does that include the penicillin for the clap and meds for the crabs that come with it? Another guy says to me, I'm fed up with the place. Here, take the keys to the store. I told him, when we want the keys, we'll take them ourselves. I go to close another business. It's a grocery store with a grill. Cook is frying an egg. He spots a roach crawling on the back wall, hits it with his spatula, flips the egg over on a roll with a bug, gives it to a customer saying, here, extra protein, no extra charge. Guy takes off his apron, walks out of the store. I'm telling you, you can't get a break from this job. We go to Caesar restaurant. We have to go down to the basement, look and see whether there's anything, not bad in the basement. The locksmith comes with me. There was a worker feeding a rat the size of a big house cat on the butcher block. Our locksmith pulls out his gun, orders me to move as he's going to shoot the rat. The worker grabs the rat and runs away. I admonished the locksmith. I said, why did you want to kill the only fresh meat they had in this place? There are some tax agents who never get a break. While sleeping at his desk in the lunchroom, someone put crazy glue on his hands. He couldn't remove them until somebody found nail polish remover. When I talk about no breaks for tax agents, we had to seize our own lunchroom commissary. We will go down, put stickers all over the cash register. Money goes in, nothing goes out. You know how intimidating it is to see all the people you work with and the whole building at 2 World Trade Center. It's like one of the 2 lunchrooms people can afford to go to, pass you by and know what you do for a living. Everybody glaring at you. Another time we had to seize another. Right. Well,
There you go.
I have to leave you now. It's a pleasure dealing with you. Thank you very much. I'll see you across my desk.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, first time here at NYCO. Great to have you. And let me text you here. Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, let's see. What am I doing here? Okay, there. Oh, okay. Here I am. Okay. Thanks, Alex. Cool. All right. And our next performer, you've seen her on Peacock TV. Have you seen it? Let's give for Ivana Lewis. Yay, Ivana. Woo.
Hello. Well, my name is Ivana Lewis. And I tell you what, I'm a deaconess. I preach sometimes, you know, and I'm a president for my seniors. So I have to plan events. Like last Saturday, I have to plan a picnic. It turned out to be great. So I don't want to kill anything. So a few weeks ago, we lived near the incinerator. Little mice ran into the house.
I was never wrong on that from the very beginning.
So it went into the closet. So my son opened the closet, and the little mice run out. So my son ran after it, and he ran back into the closet. So he sprayed something in there.
Where do you see the camera?
And then a couple days after, the mice came. My son thought the mice was dead. Mice came out, and the mice stand up on his 2 back heels, and he look at my son and say, "You nigger, you think you get me? See you later." So he went back into the closet door.
There's a neighbor to detect the camera.
All right.
Couple days after, I went into the kitchen. I opened the cupboard door, and there were no the mice. He said, "Grandma, I'm still here. Later for you. You can't catch me. I'm here to eat all your food." So, you know, I don't want to kill it. So I stamped my feet and he went right back into the closet. Couple days after, I smelled something. I told my son, I smell something like if a rat died. He said, "Yeah, I already find him. He's dead. That sucker is dead. He's no more food." So my son went into the cupboard and he looked for the hole by the incinerator and he stuffed it up with some seaweed. He said, "Never again would that sucker come back in here." And I tell you, those rats, those mice, they will run over your feet. They will look, they cannot hear, but they will look at you because they could smell you from afar. Don't you get too near, because they will run over you and they will eat you dry. So remember, whenever you see a mice, you either run or you catch it, because you're going to never move. You're going to eat you out until they have nothing. So that's my piece. Rat hotel, so I call it a rat hotel. They come and they have their babies and they run all over the place. And my daughter find a little baby one right in the closet and she catch him. And there was no more. And a few days after, another little mice run into the house. And I say, "You sucker, I'm going to get you. So what I did, I went outside and I get some mice trap and I put it down. And a few days after, I saw something wiggling. When I look, he trying to get off that sticky thing. I said, you sucker. This time, you're not going to get you. You call me grandma? Oh, grandma is nice. Grandma not going to do it. Grandma not going to hit you. But I'm going to put something there that will catch your tail and you will never get out. So that's it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ivana. Oh, yeah, some of the mice are kind of
Some
cute.
people are talking or making noises in the background, which is not fair. They
I
probably
think,
Yeah.
I think it's Orlando. Can you get
Yeah.
Muted now.
mute?
Yeah.
Helen, they're both
Muted.
muted now.
okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Thanks,
yes,
all.
there was a background.
Yeah, I muted some people. Yeah, so yeah, careful mind your speaking in the background because we can all hear you. Okay, well, thank you, Ivana. And like I said, yeah, some mice are kind of cute. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
cool. Alrighty, let's see. Let's bring your let's see your next. Okay, okay. Excuse me with the technical stuff here. All right, your next performer, Richard Marshall, who is an actor, a singer, and a brand new comedian, thanks to Joe
Wait, you
Firestone.
skipped over Alex Elias.
It's Richard. We switched
Elias.
from that.
We switched.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
What's
Okay.
this? You want to re-switch? So is it?
No, that we got it all set
Yeah.
up for him.
Yeah, we got it. All right. Okay, cool. So I'll continue. And yeah, so he's been in many Broadway plays and and let's see, even Shakespeare. He was actually in the indie film An Honest Arrangement, which won the Rising Star Award at the Canadian International Film Festival. And on TV, he had on soap operas, commercials, and episodes with John Waters. So let's give it up for Richard Marshall. Richard Marshall.
Yay! Hi.
Hey.
Hi, I'm Richard. I'm an alcoholic. No, wait. That's not that. And
That's
that's
your other group.
that's my other group. Richard, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
I'm an actor. I'm new to stand-up, but I love stand-up because I'm desperate for attention. Blah, 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 blah.
It's cheaper than therapy.
And sometimes they pay you. Sometimes they pay you. It's great. It's great.
Come on.
I'm a mama's boy. Okay, I admit it. I'm a mama's boy. My mama, my mother.
Oh, mama's boy.
Oh, hold on. Let's see. Okay, people.
Somebody,
Who's making noise here?
can we mute? Can we mute?
Danny's gonna mute Rebecca and Orlando.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
So your mom.
So my mom, I'm a mama's boy. Admit it. I'm a mama's boy. My mother's a saint. My mother's a saint, Saint Vera. She used to say to me, "You were left on the doorstep by gypsies, and I took you in. Not even in a basket, a paper bag, a good quality paper bag, but still, my mom got you.
Hungry for love?
Oh, I'm hungry. I'm hungry for love. I'm hungry for love. My wife doesn't love me.
I do too.
All during COVID, she made me wear a face mask. She made me wear a plastic shield over my entire head. She made me wear a full-length dry cleaner bag over my entire body, which makes it very difficult to have sexual intercourse. But it's not possible.
But you have screwed up ideas about women and sex.
Women and sex. No, I don't. There are good girls and there are bad girls. Good girls are good, but bad girls are better. Bad girls like sex. Bad girls like sex. Sex is dirty. You do it in the dark. You're not supposed to talk about it. Oops.
Right, Alex?
Hey, right out, but I turned out okay. Right? Alex? Okay. I turned out okay. Okay.
So you're
Okay,
ready
so-
to the bathroom.
My mother used to come into the bathroom when I was taking a shower. And I said, "Mom, what are you doing?" She said, I just want to see how you're developing. And I said, "Mom, I'm 23 years old." And she said, "So it's all right. I'm a nurse." My mother was a nurse. She was a nurse. She looked so cute in a little nurse's outfit. She had a little white uniform, and she had a little white hat, and a little white shoes and little white stockings and a little white
Oops.
handkerchief. What? Oh, well, she had this
She
little,
messed up.
pretty cute, pretty cute. So anyway, so my mom was nursing a guy who'd had a heart attack, and he was in the hospital, and she was doing private duty, and he had nurses around the clock, and he was a banker, and he was a millionaire. So all the nurses were fluttering and fluttering around because here was a guy, he was a millionaire, he was in the hospital, and he was right there, and they were taking care of him. So
And he was available, right?
he was
single.
available.
He was single.
So one of the gold digger nurses had a tray of diamond rings sent up from a local jeweler, and my mother, she didn't care. She didn't care about that stuff. So she ended up marrying the guy. So he wanted to take her around the world in a big deluxe tour, and he wanted to build her a big, beautiful new house. But my mom was such a child of the Depression. She couldn't spend money. She bought her clothes at the 88-cent store, not even the dollar store.
So that marriage didn't last?
No. He got tired of early bird specials at the diner. He wanted haute cuisine, le pavillon.
And then when she died?
When she died, we found a drawer full of twisty ties, a drawer full of plastic straws, a drawer full of string, and another drawer labeled string too short to save.
But you're in New York.
No, I was in New York. I was in New York being an actor, and I worked for Joe Papp. And I wanted to be a Shakespearean actor. I wanted to be a great Shakespearean actor. My noble lord, the French are bravely in their battle set, and will with all expedience set upon us. And so I had read that Alec Guinness, before he was Sir Alec Guinness, had a small part as a messenger. So he ran up and down the stairs like 30 times, ran on the stage, delivered his message to great acclaim, great accomplishment, great esteem. And so I thought, great idea. So I thought, I'll run around we didn't have a staircase. So we were at a school or something. So I ran around the track like 20 times, outside. I ran in, I ran on stage, I tripped, I fell, I scooted an entire width of the stairs. I saw myself, oh, my Lord, the French are bravely the best. And with a bad experience, I said all that. And so all the guys were like laughing. They turned their backs, and their armor, they were wearing chainmail. Their armor was going ching, 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 ching. So Joe Papp never hired me again. He was mad. He wasn't mad at me, but I found out that you were supposed to go into his office, and you were supposed to schmooze him and say, Uncle Joe, God, you're great.
It's
Joe.
okay. It's okay.
No,
he's dead now. He's dead now.
Oh, yeah, right. He's
Right.
dead. Okay, all right. He was a little guy. He used to wear Jodhpur boots with big high heels. I think they had lifts inside. Well, anyway, smoke these big cigars.
So when you were in that.
So
New
I was
York.
in New York
Yeah.
being an actor, and my mom was in San Antonio becoming a back lady.
You went home. You went home.
Yeah, I went home. I tried to take care of her. I tried to get rid of some of the twisty ties. My mom, fiercely independent. No. Don't touch those. And don't stand near the window. The black helicopters are sending radio signals through the radio into the room. And oh my God. Oh my God. She said, go back to New York and get a job at the post office. And I said, it's a good thing. No, I didn't do that. Good thing, because I would have gone postal and shot somebody. I would have gone nuts. So anyway, I'd like to dedicate this performance to my mother, the saint. She's up there somewhere with the helicopters. Hey, Mom, God bless you. You want to see how I'm developing? Thanks, folks. That's it for me.
Woo, thank you, Richard. Woo.
Thank you.
Yeah, Richard Marshall, everybody. Yeah, and that's nice of you thinking about your mother, and also, yeah, sex is dirty, so do it in the dark.
Sex is dirty.
Yeah, do it in the dark. Ooh, cool. All right, then our next performer. Let's see. Our next performer. It's Theresa Hummel, and she's always been a bit funny, but now people are laughing at her jokes. So yeah, so let's get for Theresa. Hey, there you are.
I went to my cardiologist. He tells me, when you exercise, make sure you check your pulse and don't let it go too high. So I asked him, what's too high? He says, let your body be your guide. Has this ever happened to you? Let your body be your guide? I tell him, Dr. Beaton, why do you think I need a cardiologist? My body has been guiding me my whole life. That's why I have heart disease. His face goes blank, but his eyebrows go up just a tiny little bit. So I know he heard me. So I think maybe it's time to share some personal information with him. I tell him, my body guides me to the donut store. It says, 3 Boston cream, please. Oh, they're on sale? I'll take a dozen. And my body guides me to the ice cream shop. It says, banana split, please, with extra whipped cream. And when I ask, are you sure that's good for me? My body says, you bet. Trust me. So if I ask my body about my pulse, I know what it's going to say. Oh, we need to talk about that. Not here, not at home, at the bakery, because we need a pecan pie to help us figure this out with ice cream. Dr. Beaton rolls his eyes. Maybe I told him too much. He says, Theresa, you're finished. And he turns to the nurse. Next patient, please. So this morning I'm at home exercising, lifting my leg, really, 10 times. And then the other leg, another 10. And then I check my pulse. I haven't got one. There's no pulse. I'm so shocked. I have 3 different reactions all at the same time. One part of me starts screaming, oh no, I'm dead. Just when that cute guy downstairs asked me out for dinner. Is he gonna want to date a dead woman? It's possible. Wouldn't that create a lot of complications? Like, what kind of an accessible taxi would we need? Another part of me is going in a different direction. What? I'm dead? Finally! No more leg lifts. Yay! I hate exercise. Fortunately, there's one more part of me. It just grabs the phone, speed dial, Dr. Beaton's office. He comes on the phone. Dr. Beaton! By now I'm screaming. I'm dead! I was exercising and I checked my pulse and I don't have one. He says, are you lying on the floor? And I yell, no, are you crazy? I'm not lying on the floor. I haven't vacuumed in a week. Stay calm. You have a well-known disease. It's called hide and seek pulse. The pulse hides like a playful, naughty child. What? I ask him if that's true. Why didn't you warn me about it when you told me to check my pulse? And what makes you think I'm not dead? He says, when people die, they stop yelling at their doctor. No chance you're dead. So I do calm down I say, you know, doctor, that is a very good point. He says, come to my office now. I'll show you how to find a hide and seek pulse. I'm like, what? You know where it's hiding? He says, we'll find it. So I walk over to his office. It's only 2 blocks. The receptionist and the nurses are all busy. No one even says, please sit down. So I stand there. Everyone's ignoring me. And my brain gets going again. It says, see, I am dead. I'm invisible. A ghost. No one even sees me. Just then Dr. Beaton comes in the waiting room. He comes right over to me. I'm thinking maybe he has second sight. But I talk to him anyway. I say, doctor, you have to revive me. He rolls his eyes. I say, okay. I forgot my manners. Please revive me. He says, give me your wrist. He puts his stethoscope on it. He sticks the earpieces in my ears. I hear it, a pulse. I am alive. So doctor, how come it didn't let me feel it when I was at home? He goes, pulses are like that. Don't take it personally. I ask him, do you still think I should check my pulse when I exercise? Oh no, he says. If you have a hide and seek pulse, it's only going to annoy you. So forget it. But if you drop dead, call me right away. Thank you. That's my set.
Thank you. Hey, Theresa. Wow, I never heard, very good. I never heard of the hide and seek pulse. Very interesting. And maybe sometimes hiding behind the tree. I don't know, but it's wow.
Back here.
But you're here. You're alive. We can see you. So that's cool. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, and as we continue the show, your next performer, it's Bibi Elders. Bibi Elders. Fresh out of college in the 1950s, worked behind the cameras alongside some of the legendary names of mid-century TV, including Gleason, Dorsey, Presley, Damone. Oh, singers too. Cool. And yeah, she actually constructed crossword puzzles. Some of them were printed in the New York Times. Then as a grown-up, she became a program director, created 9 series of conference programs that brought together international senior executives to discuss issues in the management of technology, research, and development. But now she's going to be more entertaining. She's still a serious kid on the block. So let's give it up for Bibi Elders, everybody. Yeah, for Bibi. Woo, I'm gonna press the third.
Hi. He's right. Me, serious me, was in Good Timing, a comedy show. It's crazy. And then to top it off, Good Timing was nominated for a Critics' Choice Award as Best Comedy Special, with Joe Firestein, arguably the nicest, funny person around. One critic even referred to her as the Tom Hanks of TV. I'd already considered going to LA in the summer to see some very close friends there. I figured COVID would have gotten bored or boring by then. But in mid-March, when the awards ceremony was scheduled, there just happened to be a lull in COVID. And when I heard that maybe I could even attend the Critics' Choice Award ceremony, I suddenly decided I'd go. A number of friends asked me, are you planning to travel alone? To which I answered, yes, but I was thinking, what's the big deal? I love flying. Ever since I was a kid, when LaGuardia Airport opened for business less than a mile away from me, and my hangout was the roof deck of that tiny 1-story building. Maybe every 15 or 20 minutes, an airplane would land or take off. I was thrilled by the sound of those propellers. Although, as I lay in bed, their headlights got me in the eyes as they came in for a landing, and I never really got used to that. But I was our de facto family travel agent for trips in 5 continents. And in the old days, I planned some pretty complicated trips, and I was good at it, thank you very much. So for this trip, I phoned an airline. They told me it would be a 2-hour wait. Okay, but they'll call me back. And no call back. The next day, I called another airline. Same thing happened. Now what? And by the way, I'm still waiting for those calls. As some say, it used to was, back in the old days, that the airlines actually called me back. But we're in a new world order now. Okay, I thought. So I'll call a travel agency and I'll pay their fee. But one agency after another said to me, hey, we only book entire vacations and we get commissions, but not individual travelers. After I don't know how many calls, one agent explained, like the others, that her agency only books entire vacations. She seemed very friendly, so I asked her, so what should I do? As I explained, I've booked our travel for decades. But before I finished, she asked me when and where, and before I realized what was happening, she had booked me on my flight to LA. Now, my love for travel started going way back to a 4-seat Piper Tri-Pacer, a plane with fabric wings. Before taking off, we had to pour hot water on the wings to melt the ice on them. And who'd have thunk it that decades later, I'd be crossing the Atlantic on a supersonic Concorde, cruising at Mach 2, more than 1,500 miles an hour. But I digress. So then it was time to pack, and that's where the fun really began. Although it's been 10 years since I had traveled anywhere, I searched for my old packing list, no luck. But I've done it dozens of times. Even though the last time was 10 years ago, I told myself the old smarts will kick in once I'm in the swing of things. So I began. It's a new world. Have you ever seriously studied the list from the TSA, the Transportation Security Administration, about what you may or may not bring aboard an airplane? It runs 49 pages online, and it is quite explicit. You'd be amazed, at least I was, at some of the things you actually can carry on board. Lipstick, powder, bobby pins, nail polish. Actually, you can carry on nail polish, nail clippers, and nail file, but for some reason you can't carry a nail gun. Cowboy spurs and handcuffs are okay, but not my little Swiss Army knife. And if I had any, I could have brought along antlers, though I'm not sure they'd fit in the overhead bin. And artificial skeleton bones are also allowed. I suppose you'd want a spare if your original set gets damaged en route. The list goes on. Balloons, yes, but not inflated. I guess you really shouldn't inflate them until we're airborne. And a special note, that 3.4 ounce limit on liquids can even include liquid chocolate. Crochet hooks and knitting needles are allowed, but they don't say whether you can bring any yarn. Crutches, they're allowed, but sorry, sir, you can come in, but we have to send your crutches down to the hold. You can even bring in a live lobster in a clear plastic spill-proof container. That's good, because I'm not sure I'd want to be carrying him myself. Even remote control cars, I can see it now, little cars racing up and down the aisle with the flight attendant trying to serve a meal. Waffle iron and tortilla press, goody, we won't go hungry. And vacuum robots, I can see that one now. Turbulent storm, lots of motion sickness. Maybe the robots could wander up and down the aisle. There are many more things, but the one that really got my attention was a wedding dress. Now, on arrival, I wonder what it would look like after you excavate it from the overhead bins. And there are a bunch of things that can only be checked through. You can't carry them on board. An axe, a bow and arrow, a cattle prod, a slingshot, darts. You can't even check through a meat cleaver, dynamite, or hand grenades. What's with the TSA? Talk about no sense of humor. Also, drumsticks are carefully defined as an instrument drum set. I suppose they're afraid someone might bring aboard a turkey drumstick. Also non grata is in a checked bag, spray starch. Now, frankly, I'm relieved. After a long flight, I'm stiff enough, and what I don't need is a dose of spray starch. So, also allowed on board or checked, fresh eggs. I don't want to be the one who unpacks them on the other end. Or shock collars. And if it's carried on, doesn't sound like a plane that I'd want to be on myself. So the bottom line is I'm so glad I went to LA. I got to spend time with my old friends. The Critics' Choice Awards ceremony was unforgettable and unreal. The highlight for me is that Venus and Serena Williams were there walking right by me. And Joe Firestone even dragged me to join her on the red carpet. And by the way, the carpet is actually red. So I finally got home. I was telling my grandson about my adventure trying to buy plane tickets. He was more than a bit confused. And in his innocence, he finally asked me, you couldn't book a flight on something like Expedia? Well, that had never occurred to me. So, welcome to the 21st century. And by the way, bon voyage.
Right. Hey, Bibi, thank you. Wow, what a list. And you got pretty much the whole. I don't think anybody knows didn't ever knew the whole list that the allowed or not allowed. And it's a good thing that they allow live lobsters also on there, because
Very good.
like it could be a friend, I guess. It's something very cool. So thank you, Bibi. That's an interesting list, and great that you got the chance to be on the red carpet with Joe Firestone. That must have been quite an experience at the award ceremonies. Cool. So, all right, then. Our next performer, she's actress singer Alex Elias. She's been on stage. Elias. Yeah, sorry, Alex Elias. Yeah, I have a friend. I call him Elias all the time, but yeah, Alex Elias. She's been on stage since she was 13 years old, and she's been on Broadway 5 times, notably Hello, Dolly, and the Tony Award winning musical Two Gentlemen of Verona. She's also I saw her actually on the that TV show. It was what's it called? It was Married with Children.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. That was I remember seeing you on there. I watched all the episodes. So let's give it up for Alex Elias. Alex Elias, God, my friend. I gotta talk less often to my friend. Okay. Okay. Let's get here we go. Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm a little plump. I've always been on the unfashionable tubby side. But if you ask me about my figure, I wouldn't say that I was an apple or a pear. I'd say that I was a soft-boiled egg with breasts. This is my impression of scrambled eggs. Okay, so I haven't done this in a while, so I'm gonna have to crib here. Okay, but I don't want to be a hard body. I want to be soft, so people can get in. And I'm an actress. I don't know how to do stand-up, but I think I got the basics down. I've got a microphone. Oops. I've got a spotlight. And I can talk dirty. Caca doo doo wee wee. Okay, so I'm an actress, and I originally came to New York because I got accepted into a prestigious. Oops,
Oh, hold on. Sorry about who's making noise back there.
somebody's needs to
Oh, I
mute.
see. I think I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I got accepted into this prestigious acting school, and I thought I was going to be like the next Judi Dench or Helen Mirren, but not English. And I was so thrilled when I got my first job, acting job. I played the cow in Jack and the Beanstalk. Where are we going? Where? To the fair? How are we going? How? By cow. I had to pick Jack up and carry him to the fair. We played all over New York, New Jersey, Long Island, Pennsylvania one time. They paid us $5 a show, and they took taxes out of it. We were making enough to buy lunch. So what else? So now, just in case somebody should call me a stupid cow, I can feel all warm and nostalgic. And I'm married. Yeah, I'm married. Now, this is just as well because I'm hopeless at dating. I mean, I met my husband when I was 12, and we didn't get married until I was over 60. I couldn't figure out how to bring it up. And I don't understand, dating. Men and women are different. They think about things differently. For example, women don't ordinarily fantasize about men's underwear. I mean, for example, if you just meet a guy for the first time, you don't necessarily wonder where he's wearing boxers or Speedos. Do you? I mean, I don't. Okay, I don't. I mean, back in the days when I was dating, I was happy if when a guy took off his pants, he wasn't wearing those undies that said home of the big whopper. And guys, I mean, forgive me, jockstraps are just grotesque. Just don't turn around. Okay, thank you. But men and women's underwear, like say you go out with somebody new, this is what they're expecting you to be wearing. And I mean, look at, here's another one. What is this? It's a bicycle racer hat. It's a it's a face mask. It's a monochrome for a site. I don't know what it is, but I know what these are. See, these are what I actually am wearing. Oh, they're good. They're good. They're comfy. They've got cotton crotch, and they're ventilated. My body can breathe, but men hate them. All right. So, of course, the only really no-risk relationships you can have are with your pets. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You step in a wet spot, At least you don't have to sleep in one. And dogs, always glad to see you, never critical about your weight, and they actually prefer it if you don't bathe, I mean, dogs, okay, so you have to worry about them chasing cars and maybe sniffing your girlfriends in embarrassing places, but let's face it, guys do that too. So now that I'm old, for those that are wondering,
what?
My husband wears boxer shorts. And now that I'm older, of course I go for something a little bit more dependable. So that's it for me, folks. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex. I look great. I like the hat there. It looks great. Things you can do with underwear. Cool. It's you had a variety there. There's not a lot you can do with the Fruit of the Loom, but that one is okay because they're tougher. Guys wear Fruit of the Loom for decades. They last a while. Okay.
Oh, no, I don't know. You'll have to tell me.
I guess maybe I shouldn't mention that. All right, then. Your next comedian. She's very funny. She's been on Zoom all over. We met her on Zoom. One of these days we'll meet her in person. And she's very funny. She's all over the Zoom and also doing live shows. Very busy and very funny. Let's give it for Elaine Witt, everybody.
Elaine. I love when he calls me Elaine because my mother named me Helen. That was such a yes. But I want to tell some of you don't know how I met Danny. So I had an ex-husband and he did a few things that, put it this way, I didn't want him to know that I was on Facebook watching what he's doing. And next thing I know, Danny and my second husband were having a mic together and a show together and flyers, but I didn't want my ex-husband to know. So anyway, Danny didn't know me. So one day I'm telling jokes about my ex-husband, which I'll maybe tell today. Is that a dog in the Zoom or my neighbor? So anyway, so I hear a dog bark. So anyway, so what happens? I go on the Zoom and I'm bashing my second husband. And who's on the Zoom? Danny Detchy, because we're in New Jersey. We're all over the world now because of the pandemic. So I said, oh boy, I'm just going to tell Danny the truth. So I told Danny who I was. And then sadly, his best friend passed away. And I wanted to reach out to Danny because I felt bad for Danny. Even though I had my past, he had a different feeling. So I'm very close to Danny because of that relationship. And I used some of my ex-husband's jokes because he was a comic too. And I said, Danny, I hope you don't mind, because who else is going to give a damn if I steal his jokes? He's 6 feet under. But I don't mean to be disrespectful to Danny, just to my ex-husband. So anyway, he was Chinese and I was American, obviously. And we had 3 New Years because I'm Jewish. So we had that New Year, we had the American New Year, and we had the Chinese New Year. So like first you have the American New Year and you have fireworks. Then you have the Chinese New Year around February, fireworks. But then for the Jewish New Year, around this time of year, around fall, no fireworks. Unless you put a lot of horseradish on my Aunt Esther's Greenbaum's gefilte fish, then you got fireworks. But, you know, it's weird to be married to someone of a different culture because there are certain things you have that are very different. And then we have some things that we have in common. So, for example, on Chinese New Year, we'd go to Oakland, California. I lived there at the time. And we had big pots of soup with fish heads and the whole fish in it. Well, that might not sound very appetizing to Linda, but my mother used to have white fish on Sunday morning with the heads, Linda. My brother would chase me around the house with the fish head. So we had that in common. And people say, Elaine, wait a minute, you were first married to a Jewish guy who coincidentally went to high school. He graduated a little bit before Ziggy. He went to the same school. Ziggy has nothing to do with the joke, but I thought I'd say it. So he was Jewish. And then this one is Chinese. And people say, what's the difference between being married to a Chinese guy and a Jewish guy? I go, no difference. They're both frugal and drive terribly. One of the jokes Albert had, that was his name, Albert Lee. One of his jokes was about the way that his people would drive. And he had a joke that went like this: stop for no apparent reason, because in San Francisco and where I live in Flushing, Queens, they don't drive that well. Oh my God, I'm on YouTube. I'm being politically incorrect. Someone's going to come to my window and beat me up. I'm sorry to anybody who's offended. Anybody offended yet? Okay, then I'll do a better job of offending you. So anyway, I used to get my nails done in my sister-in-law's neighborhood, you know, and the lady would come in and she'd say, do you want me to spend a little extra money by shaving off your calluses? But she didn't say it in English. She said it in her language, but I could tell she was making fun of me. And then she said this in English. She said, clogs. I said, clogs? Are you calling my calluses clogs? What an insulting thing to say. Said that my calluses were like clogs, Bibi. So anyway, that didn't make Bibi laugh, so I'll change that joke. Maybe Ziggy could help me. But what else happened? Oh, then they have, like, they put you on a throne and they put on a vibrating machine to massage your back while you're getting your manicure. So they have one person with this arm and one with this arm, and then the lady doing your feet. So you have no control and you have this vibrating machine on. And next thing you know, I'm sliding down into the water. I almost got zapped to death trying to kill me. And then, I mean, they give you a little card and it's supposed to be after 10 visits, you get a free manicure. No, at this one, it's 10 reasons they're trying to kill you. They're cooking something in the back. I don't know if it's mineral, vegetable, and I don't know what they're cooking back there, but hold on to your, Roz is gonna kill me for this, but hold on to your pets. Roz is watching. She doesn't like jokes that are politically incorrect. Have I offended anyone enough? So another thing they do was they take your cuticles and they dig and they go, you have a lot of cuticle. So I said, what do you care? The more you dig, the more tip I'm going to give you. What are you complaining about? I have no control over growing cuticles, just like my eyebrows. Why are you scolding me about my cuticle? I don't, raise them to grow faster. Oh, I'm killing it. I'm telling you, Linda, killing it. Is my time up yet, Danny?
I got a minute and a half.
Oh boy. So I have 10 forms of torture. Just to be honest, let's see, Helen, to be honest, I haven't done this material in a long time because it's politically incorrect, but I just said to hell with it. I'm doing it because of Albert and Danny's relationship. So what else? They had 10 forms of torture there. And remember I told you that they have your arms and your legs and you have the vibrating machine? It tickles when they do your toes and they scrape it and they put this vibrating machine on your toenails. It tickles, so you have no control. They're tickling you to death. That's another form of torture. I forgot all the other ones. Oh, yeah, I don't remember all 10. It's like I said, I haven't been doing this misbehaving material lately since people don't like politically incorrect material. I think I'm done, Danny.
Okay. Yay, Elaine. Yeah, for Elaine, everybody. Ooh, doing non-PC stuff. I don't know, it wasn't so bad. It's it reminds me, noticing in my neighborhood, there are a bunch of signs that says speed humps. They don't say speed bumps anymore. So I'm thinking, is that something having to do with PC or something? Yeah. It says speed humps everywhere. Yeah, it's weird. So, but it's fine. It doesn't insult. I hope it doesn't insert any speed bumps. Yeah. Yes. All right. Our next funny guy, also a comedian, performs all over New York City and all over Zoom. Let's give it up for Ziggy. Hey, Ziggy.
Hey, Ziggy.
Thanks, Danny. Alex mentioned a pecking order. And we have one in my home too, but it's decided on by Charlie the bird over here. He decides the pecking order. And Bibi, I'd like to travel with you one day, and join you in a Mile High Club if we can. Anyway, people tell me I'm a bit wishy-washy. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I'm not sure how I think about it. About a week ago, I went to a diner and waiter puts the menu in front of me and it's bigger than the Bible. I don't know where to start. So I said, what do you recommend? And he said page 28, and he gave me a bookmark. So I said, is that Exodus or Leviticus? He said Corinthians. So I said, well, what's good? What's popular? And he said, for you, bagel and lox. And I'm wondering, how did he know I was circumcised? But I figured, and then I'm thinking, why do I ask him what's popular? Just because something's popular doesn't mean it's good for you. I mean, look at the new housewives of New Jersey, the real housewives of New Jersey. So anyway. So I said, okay, I'll have a bagel and lox. He said, toasted or untoasted? And I said, I don't know. How about half toasted, half untoasted? He said, okay. He said, it comes with either salad or fries. So I said, I don't know, I'll have fries. He said, okay. Do you want cottage fries? Do you want waffle fries? Do you want curly fries, sweet potato fries, home fries, barbecue fries, steak fries, cheese fries, freedom fries? I said, forget it. Let me have a salad. He said, okay. Do you want a Cobb salad, a Waldorf salad, a Caesar salad, a Mediterranean salad, a tossed salad, an untossed salad? I said, just let me have a house salad. He said, of course. French dressing, Italian dressing, balsamic vinaigrette, Russian dressing. No, we don't have Russian anymore. Now it's Ukrainian dressing. I said, how about just giving me potato chips? He said, of course. Ruffled potato chips, rippled potato chips, wavy, salted, unsalted veggie chips, Pringles, Utz or Utz, I don't know how to pronounce it. I said, you know what? Give me potato salad, because that takes into account potatoes and salad. He said, great choice. German potato salad, American potato salad, creamy potato salad, low fat. I said, you know what? Coleslaw. Just give me coleslaw. There's only one kind of coleslaw. He said, we don't carry that. I said, you have a 90-page menu of squid on the menu. You don't have coleslaw? He said, I'm sorry. I said, you know what? Just give me the bagel and lox without anything on the side. He said, of course. He comes back half an hour later and he says, by the way, I forgot to ask you what kind of bagel you wanted. Do you want sesame? Do you want onion? Do you want garlic? I said, stop. I know what I want. Just a plain bagel, cream cheese and lox. He said, very good. By the way, we ran out of lox. I said, so why do you ask me what kind of bagel I wanted? He said, I was curious. So I said, you know what? I lost my appetite. Just let me have a cup of coffee. And I said, no, don't give me a cup of coffee, because I know what you're going to do. You're going to say, do you want regular? Do you want decaf? Do you want espresso? Do you want cappuccino, frappuccino, mochaccino, cafe au lait? Do you want whole milk, 1% milk, 2% milk, almond milk for 90 cents more, soy milk, oat milk, breast milk? Do you want granulated sugar, confectioner's sugar, equal, sativa, Splenda, Trivia? Forget it. I don't want coffee. He said, that's ridiculous. I never would have said that. I said, you know what? Just give me a glass of water. He said, of course. Tap water, sparkling water, rainwater, mineral water, tears. I said, forget it. Just give me a check for whatever I didn't have. He said, cash or charge. So I just walked out. Luckily, there was a hot dog vendor right across the street. And I said, that diner drives me crazy. So many choices. He said, I know exactly what you mean. I get half my customers from there. I said, let me have a hot dog. He said, do you want a foot long? Do you want a wiener? Do you want a cocktail frank? Do you want pigs in a blanket? Do you want Vienna sausage? So I just walked away, and I can hear him saying, do you want sauerkraut, mustard, ketchup, coleslaw? How come he had the coleslaw? Anyway, so now I'm shaking. I feel I need some help. So I call a 24-hour therapy hotline, and I hear dial or say 1 for Freudian, 2 for Jungian, 3 for group therapy, 4 for family therapy, 5 for physical therapy, 6 for music therapy, 7 for art therapy, 8 for sex therapy, 9 for animal-assisted therapy, 10 for animal-assisted sex therapy. So I just hung up. And as I'm going, I see, a sign for a psychic. So I go in there and I say, I'm having trouble. I can't make a decision about food, about anything. She said, have a seat. Do you want a palm reading? Do you want tarot card reading? Do you want a Ouija board? Do you want a crystal ball? Do you want astrology, numerology, a seance? I just walked out and she said, I put a curse on your tongue. So I get home and my wife says, did you eat? And I said, no. What's in the fridge? She said, nothing. I said, thank God. She said, let's go to the diner. I said, no. She said, I said, but if we go, should we walk? Should we take a taxi? Should we take an Uber? Should we take a Lyft? Should we take a pogo stick? Should we take rollerblades? So she said, you know what? Let's just go to bed. Forget it. I said, should we spoon? Should we cuddle? Should we noodle? Anyway, that's my time. I'm Ziggy Susser. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yay, Lee. Woo, wow. Good to learn all those options. Wow. Yeah, maybe I should go to a minimalist coffee shop or something like that. Thank you, Ziggy. Woo.
Thank you.
All right, your next performer. Yes, she's a singer, songwriter, filmmaker, and producer, director. Helen founded several regional theaters and was chair of theater arts at City University of New York. But don't tell anyone. Helen, also lots of fun. So here's Helen Yealoff. Give it for Helen.
Something just happened.
Yeah, what
Lost
happened? I don't know.
Linda Marcus Smith shared her screen.
I lost the screen.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second.
got it
Here
back.
we go. All right. We're
Thank
back
you.
here, and
Why me? Why me? Why me? Oh, sorry.
here we go. There's Helen. Woo.
Okay, I'm Helen Yealoff, and I'm a proposed future sportcaster of the new Olympic Meaningful Games. Have you noticed that they pay athletes tons of moolah? When I was a kid, no one paid me for playing stickball on the streets of Brooklyn, and to this day, I deeply resent that. People seem to care about watching highly paid sports folks who go from team to team for more money, and teams that abandon their own hometowns for more lucrative ones. Traitors, damn Dodgers, damn Giants. But are all these sports even relevant today? Not really. Well, it's because I was stuck inside watching TV during this whole horrible period. You know what I'm talking about. Well, maybe you were too, but I've been thinking about the future of sports. So I do want to propose new modern directions to you. We should consider now new, more relevant modern sports, such as, like, how fast you would have to go to catch a running bus. Who climbs steps down in the subway fast enough to catch a train just coming in? And how well can you read someone else's newspaper over their shoulders before they catch on? Or how to cross a street when stuck cars block the intersection, and how to cross without spilling your overpriced barista coffee. Now, these are important modern skills, don't you think? Well, unlike today's games, original ancient Greek Olympics were full of very, very useful and very meaningful sports. Yes, throwing a javelin was a very handy skill to have, and much needed to kill your neighbors in the next little fracas. But spears, they're not very handy against guns. You'd be asking for it. So why waste money building expensive special stadiums for no longer useful practices in our modern times? Should we instead designate certain city streets for today's modern stadiums? Should we not, instead of tossing meaningless javelins, practice machine gun throwing in its place? And why even run marathons on artificially manicured expensive racetracks or over bridges? Or should we not use what's relevant today? Shouldn't we instead just run through subway stations trying to catch trains and jump over turnstiles as hurdles? And instead of chariot races, why can't we just fight for Ubers on rainy days? And now it's time for me to propose my new Olympic indoor games. Well, I was wandering through my New York City apartment during the lockdown period, dodging, and even now, falling objects, pencils, papers, lamps, bottles, and I mused on the future of sports. I developed many proposals. As mentioned before, I feel we should develop, instead of old, boring Daredevil X Games, more meaningful sporting challenges with meaning for today's world. For example, let's see if the new Olympic athletes can be fast and skillful enough to go through New York City household apartments like mine without being hit by falling objects. You may name your own in-house falling objects. I have some handy here. Suggestions. Books, phones, papers, dishes, beer and soda cans, mail, dirty socks, and or Hershey's chocolates. The challengers must also avoid dropping medicine jars, pens, papers, phones, TV remotes, and snacks, etc. on the floor, where they will probably get lost in some dark hole in the universe. These new Olympic athletes must try to retrieve all lost objects without redropping them again and again, which a skill I haven't quite figured out yet for myself. Extra points are awarded for quality organizing and decluttering skills, and for figuring out what to keep and what to toss out in the trash, but without leaving the host householder in too much of a flood of angry tears. These athletes will be scored, in case you asked, for form, technique, and creativity by a carefully chosen International Olympic scoring team. These esteemed committee members get free publicity, no money. The Olympic organizers would have previously scored them for quality bribe taking. Whoever finishes best in this qualifying round gets lots of canned applause, a sash around their chest with a certificate of approval printed on it, and a Haagen-Dazs ice cream cone of their very own choice. Going a week later to the final rounds, the new Olympic athlete must have a laurel wreath, like, to wear triumphantly on the head. So during the gap week, all were tasked with finding a Manhattan garden, which is no small job indeed, with laurel bushes. Then he or she must ninja-like steal the needed wreath supplies without the garden owners calling the police or shooting them dead. If they manage to survive the garden exercise, then comes a skilled craft segment. The contestants must figure out how to wrap those leaves in a wreath around their heads. If after the initial ordeal of the qualifying rounds, the challengers remain healthy enough, unjailed, and haven't been killed by the owners of the apartments or gardens, the athletes return for their final trials. The apartments, after a week of being relived in, will certainly be ripe enough to create a new and worthy obstacle challenge. Again, athletes need to re-declutter on a higher level, but only after the residents within have been safely locked up. The golden winner now has the right to stand on the top platform of a stoop, while on 2 different levels below, shamed second and third runner-ups must stand. All other athletes have been sent to Coney Island for the next Olympics.
Thank you. Oh, yay. Helen Yealoff. But yeah, I like that. And then being sent to Coney Island. That's
Coney
cool.
Island.
Yeah, that's cool. And yeah, I like the idea of Olympics, especially the bribery part of the Olympics. Yeah, that's
Bribery part, yes.
yeah, that's cool. Yay, thank you, Helen. Are you ready there? Your next performer, comedian, she is all over. She performs live shows all over the country, and also on Zoom, and she does interviews with celebrities even. So hey, let's get up for Linda Marcus Smith. Yay.
Hi guys. Have you ever pretended that you were doing well? Just to make it, you just trick yourself into believing you're doing well. Well, I'm a master at tricking myself into believing I'm doing well. Whoa, oh yes, I'm a great pretender. Sing along. Pretending that I'm doing well. Yep, that's right. I'm pretending to be doing well. You know, I live in Vegas, and Vegas is pretending to do well. They used to have really good results at the slot machines. They would brag that the slots were loose. Now the best results of any kind of payout are at the wedding chapels. 1 out of 2. It's a thinker. I get it. I'm Linda Marcus Smith. It's true. I had to put my maiden name in the middle because guess what? There was another person on the planet with the name Linda Smith. Who'd have thought? you know, people say, oh, you have 3 names, Linda, Marcus, Smith. That's probably because you're a diva. I'm not a diva. A diva is beneath me. I use 3 names to turn around history. Because back in time, which I'm an expert at, back in time, people with 3 names were bad. John Booth, John Wayne Gacy, and Adolf Blanken Hitler. Yeah. I'm part Jewish, and Hitler being on that bad list doesn't bother me like Booth does. Because Booth was an actor, Helen. It really bothers me that he's on that list. He was an actor, and he got famous with 1 headshot.
Oh.
I thought you'd like it, Helen. You're welcome. I like telling New Yorkers that I come from the Upper West Side, but in actuality, it's the Upper West Side of the U.S. map, Oregon. Yeah, a little town nobody's ever heard of at all in the news, Portland. Oh, my town. My town is like the Dr. Seuss Upside Down book. It's like gone crazy there. My grandma and I used to sit in front of a deer statue and have lunch. They burnt the deer statue. So now, you know, Portland used to always brag that it was keep it weird. It was the place to keep it weird. Now they can also brag that the buck does stop there. It's a thinker, buck, deer. Okay, it ticks me off too. I get it. Yeah, I got in a lot of trouble in Portland because I got mad at a coffee barista, Helen. Yeah, he made me so mad because he told me that I look just like Marilyn. Do I look? No. I said, are you making fun of me? She's beautiful. He said, no. This is Portland. Your makeup's dripping down your face. It's raining, lady. You look like Marilyn Manson. I don't take my looks seriously. I don't think I look like Marilyn. I think I look like if Marilyn had a sister and the sister had to sing happy birthday to Ted Kennedy. That's my kind of. Hey, you guys, I've been aging. Is anybody else getting older?
Oh, no.
It's so relatable. Yeah, I've been getting older, and, you know, I hang out with these young comics. So most of the time I'm winning at aging. It's really great. I started comedy very, very early in life. I don't know if you're aware of it, at 63 years of age. And after 8 years of this nonsense, I now have to identify as really, really old. It's aging me, you guys. You know, you're probably thinking, well, you're from Oregon. You look like you're a nice person. You're not like, you know, some of those people that wear blue hair and you know, like I'm straight, white, old, and I started comedy going in Portland, Oregon. How do you think my comedy landed in Portland, Oregon? It didn't. Do you know what I had to do to get laughs there, Theresa? I had to do sit-ups through my entire 5-minute set, Bibi. I had to do sit-ups just to make the people pay attention. It was crazy. Yeah. While I'm doing sit-ups, they're just thinking, oh, lady, we just want you to do one curl up. Curl up and die already.
Whoa.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to fall for it. Yeah. You know, I've been getting some weird compliments from people. I mean, I like it when people like Ziggy's age, they give me compliments, you know, every once in a while. Besides Marilyn Manson, they'll say, you know, you look amazeballs. Amazeballs? What am I going to do with amazeballs? Google it? It has balls in it. And besides, if we learned nothing from Nancy Grace, We now know that they check your hard drive right after you kill your third husband. Can't Google that, Theresa. I like it when men tell me I'm aging backwards because it reminds me that I'm aging. Thank you so much, sir. And oh my, Benjamin Button was a sex symbol. I get it. That's about my time. You guys are so awesome. Thanks for letting me on your show.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. Woo. For Linda Marcus Smith, busy, entertaining woman all over the place. Woo. So, great. So, and already then, your next performer. Let's see if he's in the area. Orlando, are you there? Okay, cool. Orlando. Let's give it up for Orlando, everybody. Can we see you?
Yay.
It pains me to say Orlando has left me.
Oh, is this Rebecca?
This is Orlando Doe. Actually, we're
Sure. Okay, let me.
Where's Rebecca?
here, and we can't, we can't get the video, so I think he got frustrated.
Let's see. Where's Orlando? Okay, so I'm clicking around here. Where's Orlando? Is he here?
He stepped out for a little
while. He stepped out. Okay, he's all right. Well, let's go to our next funny guy. Okay, it's Tom Padovano. Tom actually sold over 1,000 jokes to comedians, including Rodney Dangerfield, Joan Rivers, and Phyllis Diller. Yeah, he also lectured at Comedy at Las Vegas International Ventriloquist Convention and has performed on cruise ship, comedy clubs, conventions, and all over the place. He's still performing live in New York and all over on Zoom. Let's give it up for Tom Padovano. Woo!
Yay. Thank you, Danny. Thank you. And I love doing comedy. And I've had a lot of jobs and some crazy bosses. Had this one. If I made a mistake, she'd go, Tom! Look at the mistake you made. But if she made a mistake, oh, Tom, look at the mistake we made. So I said, well, boss, look at the ugly dress we're wearing. I got fired. Then I had this other boss, a real tough guy. Every day he'd say, so, working hard or hardly working? I grabbed his neck and said, well, boss, breathing hard or hardly breathing? I got fired. And I hate looking for a job. I went on this interview. They said, Tom, this job pays $1,000 a week, but in 6 months, it goes to $2,000 a week. I said, great. I'll come back in 6 months. And I come from a poor family. But let me tell you something. Every night, my mother had food on the table. I wish we had plates.
Oh.
And when I was a kid, my mom and I didn't get along. When I was 7, I said, Mom, I adopted.
You're breaking up.
Oh no.
I'm working.
You'll come back. Tom. You're frozen, Tom. Okay.
I did that one. You just turned 50. But I do remember when my father built me a tree house when I turned 45. And he kept screaming, move out of the basement. They were ashamed of me because I was a terrible student. I was the only kid in 3rd grade, excused for jury duty.
Oh.
My teacher.
Oh, you're frozen.
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit. We'll get there. Let's see.
Mother was in 1 week he was spotless. Amazing. And my dog loves to chew on old stinky socks. I wish he'd wait till I took them off.
Wow.
And I live in a terrible apartment. It has bugs. And the other day I ran out of Raid. So I sprayed a cockroach with Lemon Pledge. It died, but had a great, shiny finish.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I feel like I'm nearly finished. I'm older now. I'm starting to lose it. The other day, I could not find my car keys. I was driving.
Ah.
I mean, it's trouble. 20-year-old. She stopped smoking. Sheila's my 2000 Cutlass. I guess now she turned 22. Anyhow, what I like to do, because I'm a nervous person, as you could tell, to relax, I'll just look out my front window for hours and do nothing, which really upsets the drivers behind me. So impatient, you know. I don't know. And, you know, I've tried different dating services. I'm on the Elvis Presley dating app. Love Me Tinder. Yeah. Every woman I meet always says to me, no, thank you. No, thank you very much. It's amazing. Now, my best friend, he's Jewish. He's on J-Date. I'm single and Italian. I'm on A-Date. Hey! I went to this wedding that was half Italian, half Jewish. Fascinating. They made the men wear yarmulkes. On the yarmulkes, and they had Favito's pizza. And you know, at a Jewish ceremony, they have the groom step on a glass. Here, the groom was Italian. He punched it.
Oh.
Yeah, my uncle Chooch was at the wedding. Oh, this guy's amazing. I remember when I was a kid, he used to read me nursery rhymes, right? But his own version. Yo, Tom, Mary had a little lamb. Mary was arrested. You know why? She stole that lamb. But then she escaped. So now Mary's on the lamb. You know, even though I was only 7 years old, I said, you can't pull the wool over my eyes. I told him, yeah, a real tough guy, you know, and he always bugs me about, you know, getting married. I don't know if I'm going to bother anymore. I remember my last girlfriend, when she broke up with me, I said, honey, while we've been dating, have you?
Ooh.
You're the fifth guy to ask me that today. Yeah. Oh, this one woman I was talking to, she said she wants to date 10 men at the same time. I said, I'm not into that. I'm monotonous.
Right.
Or another woman, she wants to date a man comfortable in his own skin. I said, forget about me. I have psoriasis. And then she was itching to leave. Well, it's time for me to leave. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, everybody.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you. Woo. Thank you. Tom Padovano. It's all the tough dating scene there with yeah, it's tough dating out there. So thank you, Woo. Tom. All right, let's see. Is there Orlando there? Are you there? Can you come on?
He stepped out for a
Okay,
few.
well, he's the last guy. We won't. Will he come back? Because we can. I'm not sure we can wait much longer.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I think go ahead and.
All right. Did you want to say anything, Rebecca? Or no? No, okay. All right. Cool. Well, I guess. Well, that's our show then. I guess. Sorry, we couldn't get Orlando. He had busy. Maybe we'll get him next time. And so anyway, thanks all for viewers for watching NYC OG from the stars from Good Timing on Peacock TV. Watch for it. It's really it's fun, very entertaining show. And so let's give it for all the performers for tonight. Let's give it for Alex Glatt, Ivana Lewis, Theresa Hummel, Bibi Elders, Elaine Witt, Ziggy, Helen Yealoff, Linda, Marcus Smith, and Tom Padovano.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you, Danny.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Danny.
guys. That was fun.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Bye.
And we'll get together again soon. And Alex and Richard, did I mention that? Yeah. So cool.
Thank
All right,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Danny.
See you
Take care.
next time. Bye.
Thanks so much,
Bye.
Danny.
Bye.
Bye.